Hey Virgo, it's Empress Rose here. Welcome to your reading. These are general readings. Take what works, leave what doesn't. If I don't catch your wavelength or storyline here, check your other major placements. And we're going to start with the Oracle decks, and then we'll move on to a more traditional tarot spread with the Golden Tarot. All right. Wow, you guys are the only one. Most of these have been all Moonology, and you guys got mostly Work Your Light. Little Moonology. Ooh. Work Through Your Fears, new moon in Scorpio. So what are you worried about? Get specific about it. Listen to it. Get curious about your anxieties, your fears. Listen to what they have to tell you. They may be right. They may be wrong. They may be exaggerating, but have a little kernel of truth there. So exploring them, working through some of that stuff we may have subliminated into our subconscious and pulling some of those fears up for examination. This may involve journaling, therapy, talking it out, anything like that. So just so long as we're looking at that stuff and continuing to bring it up and explore it. I like this too, inner temple, devotion, tune into the portal of your heart. So I like that too, because working through your fears, we're talking about subconscious issues. So looking into the portal where we bring in these subconscious issues up to more conscious awareness, right? Some of our, I want to say, base and lower chakra issues about existence and passions and some of those, I want to say like reptilian mind ideas, some of that more basic ideas, and we bring it up through the chakras into more of a spiritual place. So tuning into the portal of your heart, that portal, that opening there where the subconscious stuff can come in, where the universe can sort of start to make sense to us and feel right to us. There's also something here about devotion, something that you're very dedicated to and devoted to. You might have some fears about that you need to explore. That was a long, convoluted way of saying that. So then soul family, call in your tribe. You don't have to do it alone. There's help here. There's even someone that might be able to give support, emotional support, deep connection, spiritual, emotional connection. There are people that you can connect with, and they can help you. So soul family, calling in your tribe, asking for some help, or just maybe even calling up a therapist to work through your fears here. So calling in your tribe, you don't have to do it alone. You don't have to reinvent the wheel by yourself. You can dial in some help, some assistance. People want to help, right? It helps them feel, it makes us feel important, useful, that we're here for a reason when we get to help others. So don't shut down that assistance. You may need to delegate some things if your plate's too full. Yeah. Oh man, holy moly. We've got Soul Tribe, Soul Tribe, Soul Tribe. It's all coming together. Intuitive hits, Soul Tribe. So again, we've got Soul Family, call in your tribe, the Great Gathering, intuitive hits, Soul Tribe. So meeting up with some people, your team is becoming assembled here. Is that part in the movie where we assemble the team. We go pull people out of retirement and people that are doing other things, and we assemble the team here. So this is fascinating. Priestess, how are you being called to step up and lead? So you may need to take some action. You may need to start this. You may need to coordinate this gathering, this meeting up. You may need to be the one that reaches out to your soul family with this stepping up and lead. You may need to take the leadership here. You may need to initiate and work through your fears. So do you have fears about initiating things? Do you have fears about starting things? Do you have fears about, inviting people in? Do you have fears about, I don't know, planning a party? Do you have fears about that? Like working through those, not letting them hinder you, just trying to understand them. They're neither good nor bad, just exploring them and being curious about them. Priestess, being called to step up and lead. So some sort of taking initiation, coming in with the idea. All right, well, we already did that deck. I'm going to take the top one here, though. Don't let pride get in your way. Full moon in Leo. well, don't be too, that seems pretty obvious, don't be too proud to ask for help. Don't be too proud to initiate something and make yourself vulnerable in that way. All right. It is very vulnerable, initiating things. It's, people can say no. People can say yes and then cancel later. There's a lot of things that can happen with initiating things, with starting things, with inviting people in. It can be very scary. You definitely risk rejection there. So, starting with the tarot here, your past, your present, your inner landscape, what's at issue, your environment, your to-do list, and your possible outcome. Man, oh man, do I love this tarot reading stuff. It is very fun because, somebody just got these exact same two cards, and they're from two different decks, and they're a match set here. So I think that's really fascinating. In your recent past, you have the Magician card. Everything you need, all the elements assembled, we're able to accomplish something and achieve something and make something happen. Something that maybe you were devoted to, something that you were, what you were passionate about. You went around, you collected the different pieces, you figured it out. You figured it out how to do this. You had truth, you had communication, you had some sort of physical support. You had the emotion, the feeling, and you had this spark of inspiration, and it all came together. There was a moment where you were really connected and you were really able to make something happen, right? We've all been magicians. We've all manifested something that we wanted. We manifested our first car. We manifested our first apartment. We, did the steps, assembled the pieces, and made something happen. So in your past, you maybe have been able to make a lot of things happen, and you have assembled the pieces, and you've gotten to a certain place with all of that work, with all of that focused energy and work. You've been able to accomplish something, maybe even quite a bit, maybe just a little bit. Maybe you're just beginning to accomplish things. But in your past, you figured out some sort of formula, what works for you, because it works different for every person. Everyone's energy is different. Everyone's vibe is different. So we all bring different energy to the assembled pieces, and they come together differently. So in different timings, in different ways. So your unique way, you assembled, you brought together all the different parts. You made something happen in your unique energy, using your unique energy. In your current situation, we have 9 of Swords, a lot of anxiety. So this is the Nightmare card. Nightmares refer to all of those things that go on in our head, right? We're safe in our bed. We're literally safe in our bed. This dog's not able to jump up on the bed. And these are all of these thoughts, all of these fears. They harm us. They hurt us. They're painful. There's a lot of anxiety, right? We've got to work through your fears. And it looks like that's what you're doing. You're waking up here and you're working through them. You're going through sorting them out. I kind of see lines here, like lines of a journal, honestly, where we're going to fill this up with our thoughts. We're going to examine these. We're going to look at them. We're going to look them in the eye, even if they're scary, even if they terrify us. We're going to explore them. We're going to explore that dark cave of our fears. We're going to put on a little spiritual headlamp, though, and we're going to head down there, and we're going to do some spelunking in our subconscious and our fears and what holds us back and what we're worried about and all of our anxieties. We're going to go in there. So your anxieties right now could be pretty overwhelming, pretty crippling, keeping you up at night, giving you a lot of worries, a lot of fears, preventing sleep, preventing rest. You could be pretty worried about something. In your hopes, your fears, your inner landscape, well, look at this. We've got 3 of Wands. You're hoping for your ships to come in, your dreams to come true. You can see them. You can imagine them coming through. Maybe you're in a place of imagining them not coming through and what's going to happen if that doesn't happen. But you really want to be in a place of faith. The 3 of Wands is one of my favorite cards. It is a place of faith. You're trusting in your instincts, you're trusting in your intuition, you're trusting in the flow of life, you're trusting in your own energy, you're trusting in the power, and that you're tapped into that power, and that you can feel that, and you have a sense of I don't want to say certainty, because certainty is such a drug, it's such a high to feel certain about things, and there's so little in this life that that deserves our certainty. That's actually something we can be certain of, but that certainty makes us feel like we kind of control things and that we're in charge of things and that we have all this power, and we know things and we know them so well. But certainty is more of a high than an actual fact, in my opinion. So you're hoping for some certainty, a reason. Give me a reason to believe. This is like you have all of these doubts and all of these fears, and this is I think I've brought this verse up before. Like, I do have some amount of faith. Help me with my lack of faith or whatever. That concept of having some faith, but really wanting more, really wanting to see the vision, wanting to see where this is all going. So these are really opposite cards. So you know what you want. You want to be in a place of more faith, right? I don't want to call it certainty, although there's an element to that, because certainty, in my experience, is a dangerous perch. So you're in this doubts, these fears, this doubt place. Where you want to be is the exact opposite of where you are. It's almost like, here you are, how do you get onto the other side? It's like Jack Sparrow trying to get, when they go down into Davy Jones' locker and they're trying to get back to the other side. It's like there's some kind of trick here. There's some kind of, how do you flip this? How do you flip this over so that instead of fear, it's faith? Instead of anxiety, it's vision. And how do you have that vision? You want to have more vision. You're not ignorant of the place where you're at, of these fears and anxieties and what they can do to you and how they can prevent you from being open to unlimited possibilities, and how you can get locked into these fears and not even be able to see the openings and not be able to see the possibilities or the greater vision, because these fears have your mind on lockdown. So wanting to flip that over into, right here we even have like the black pearl, or I can't ever remember, I think it's the black pearl. Flipping that ship over into the other realm of faith and vision. What's the issue here is, or what the situation is, this is really funny, because Leo just got this card too in a different position, different message. But the situation is no messages. Knight of Wands, Knight is messages. Wands are inspiration, energy. You're not getting those cues that you were thinking that you'd get that would really help with this visionary stance, with switching this over. You're not getting the communication or the movement that you were hoping for. You're not getting that. It's not coming in. You might be waiting for something, waiting for some sort of information, waiting for some sort of understanding, intuition, something to come in, some sort of message to come in and inspire you, some kind of inspiring message and communication that's going to excite you. And maybe you're waiting for that to switch this over from darkness to lightness, from doubt to possibility. But you're not getting that. We have this Knight of Wands in reverse, out of the energy, feeling disconnected from the energy. In your environment, this is possibly a person. This is King of Cups here. This is someone who's very able to handle things, right? The storm is hitting everybody. There's a lot of emotional upset and a lot of emotional turmoil. Everybody else, including you, might be rocking in the boat, puking over the side. You've got to tie yourself down here, or the next wave's going to throw you overboard and you'll never get back to the ship. Like, there's just some tumult going on in your life, but there's somebody here that's able to absorb all that and still remain grounded, still remain peaceful and calm. They're taking it all in. It's not like they're immune to the storm. They're experiencing the storm just like you are, just like everybody else is. But somehow they're able to remain grounded in it. This is a level of mastery that, befuddles most of us. Just how do you do that? It's not denying emotions. It's not pretending there's no storm. We're all out in the storm here. All of our boats are getting rocked this way and that and threatening to sink all the time, you know? So how is this person standing so strong, so firm? How are they so grounded while all this goes on? There's someone with some level of emotional mastery. Again, this could be, right? This could be a therapist. This could be somebody who's really studied this, gone back for continuing education, has a master's degree, a PhD in emotional intelligence. They have a lot of emotional intelligence. They've seen a lot. They've seen a lot of storms, and they're able to maintain themselves, handle their emotional liquor. This could be, you know, you don't have to do it alone. This is in your environment. This could be male or female, somebody that has a lot of emotional maturity and a lot of understanding about it, and can really communicate about it very clearly. So don't be too proud to ask for that help, right? You don't have to do it alone, and don't ask for help, right? I think we've already talked about the need to ask for help. You may need to ask for help, and that would be leadership. That would be taking some action in your life. Here's your to-do list. Just said that funny, and it came out funny, like somebody else's voice. Here's your to-do list. The energy you need to look to engage in and look to understand. Oh my gosh, I love this so much because it comes under the 9 of Swords. Here's the 10 of Swords. We've got the dawn. We're coming from the night, the nightmare card, and we're going to the dawn. There's no more pain here. Let this whole situation wind down and come to an end. There's no more pain. We ran out of needles. We ran out of swords. There's no more poking you. Here, this black dog we see here, it's trying to eat you. And neither of these is a black dog going to get you, right? This is like all the possibilities of what could go wrong. And here it's done. It's over. We're not. So the 10 of Swords is the end of a painful situation. Bring it to a close, bring it to an end. Allow that dawn to come. Allow the healing to start. You've been stabbed. You've been stabbed in the back. You've been wounded horribly. You've been poked and prodded, harassed. And it ended not because someone had a change of heart and decided to stop torturing you. They just ran out of swords. And so there is this dawn coming. You know, the nightmare is over. Allow it to end. Allow the nightmare to come to a close. Allow the dawn to come in. And I don't think this is a very inactive card, right? We're talking about taking leadership as far as like finding some help possibly, but this is allow healing to come in, and maybe even a healer, like a healer to come in, but allow that healing to come in. You've been through a lot. You've been through some pain. You're struggling to see a brighter future for yourself or to see where this could all be going, but allow that pain to end. So work through your fears. That's what I'm seeing with this 9 of Swords and then this 10 of Swords, working through those fears and being very successful at them, allowing healing and light to come in. And that may take some work on your part, and that may take some help to do that, but allowing that to come in, allowing those fears and terrors and anxieties to wind down. Even if you don't get the messages you need, even if you don't get the inspiration that you were looking for, even if you don't get it, there's something you can do with this anxiety and with these fears. There's a sense of allowing that to end. So 10 is an ending. 10 of Swords is an ending about how we think about something, how we see something, and maybe even a verbal exchange with something or someone. So allowing something to end here. Where you're headed, we have the Hierophant. We have the structure. We have the skeleton or the exoskeleton of some sort of idea of faith, right? We were hoping for the faith. Well, maybe we find the faith in some sort of structure. Maybe there's a church, right? The Hierophant is about church, about maybe you do need to return to church. And maybe even that's not like about the faith, but just at least the structure. At least this is reminding me of fake it till you make it, which is, I don't know how this got so, well, I do. It's the internet. It gets all twisted around. Like, no, don't fake things. No, that's not what this is about. This is about like continuing to go on even if you have doubts in yourself, even though you have these doubts, continuing to go on with the structure of your life, so even as you're dealing with these fears and stuff, keep the structure the same. There's like a stability here and a structure here. So like, let's say you broke up with somebody or they broke up, you got dumped, right? And you want to call them every day and you want to whine over to them and have them come back and whatever, but you're going to fake that you're okay, because eventually you will be, and you'll be able to sort of fill that, I want to say it's like a crustacean, and the hermit crab, comes back in. And so something's ending, the little snail is ending. But a hermit crab, just keep the shell here till we get a new inhabitant, till things come back to life. So there's something about just keeping the structure in place. This could be dealing with some sort of larger structure, like a school or church or government organization, right? So, but what I'm seeing here is keep some sort of structure in place. Even though you're having your doubts and you have all these fears and you're not full of faith, right? We can still keep going to church, let's say, if that's your thing, if that's your vibe and what you want to do. Just for an example, we can still keep going to church even if we're struggling with our faith. We can still keep doing that thing. We can still keep working towards something, even though we know we're in a place where we're not sure that this is going to work anymore. Just keep going. Keep going. Let the painful part end, but you kind of keep going with some kind of structure and maintain some structure. This could also be heading into some sort of institution. But I just see structure, like keeping the structure in your life the same, even if what's going on underneath is you doing a lot of emotional work, you lacking faith in the situation, you having a lot of fears. Just keep that structure in place. And keep going, even if it feels a little empty right now, right? We went from this place of lots and lots of energy, this magician, to sort of what can be a bit of a hollow institution. But I see this as like structure, keeping with the structure that you build, even if you're lacking the wand here, or the energy, or the faith. Even if you're lacking the faith, right? This is a card full of faith, and this is a card full of structure that was built on that faith. So even if you're lacking this faith and you long for it again, keep the structure that you built up there around that faith. So these institutions can feel a little hollow, but this is telling me stick with it, even though it does feel a little hollow, because I don't think it's going to feel hollow forever. So just keep going. You don't have the inspiration right now. You're not feeling very inspired, and you don't have a lot of faith in the situation, but just keep going along with it. Because it'll fill back in, I think, or something. I don't know. But the cards, because I don't have a card that says that. That's just me saying, we go through these periods where things feel a little hollow, and that we don't really necessarily have a lot of confidence in that they're going to turn out. And we don't have the faith, but we still keep going on the routine anyway. So that's what I'm seeing here. So I hope that was helpful for you, Virgo. And we go on with the routine because that routine hole is a placeholder. We mean underneath where things may be a little rotten, a little uninspired, a little anxious, but we still are going to keep going, at least for a little while longer, and let this space down here have an opportunity to renew, because we do have some renewal that we need to allow into that space. But first we have to close out maybe a way that we've thought about something, a way that we need to let the lack of faith wind down, and some sort of tumult or some sort of issue within that structure that we've built. So you built the structure around the inspiration, and now the inspiration's gone and you have the structure. Do you let the structure crumble? This is saying no. Allow this to have a renewal, because 10 of Swords is a renewal. So, all right, I hope that was clear and helpful, and I'll see you guys in a couple weeks.